7 News at noon.
Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Yeager here. We've got Raven Richard with us taking a look at our weather. It's been a little bit sunny these last few days, which I'm sure everybody's really enjoying.
Absolutely. A perfect time.
Well, thank you, Raven. New at noon, Fayetteville police are investigating after a man fell from an apartment balcony and died. Officers say it happened around 3 o'clock this morning at the West Center Apartments on Center Street. Witnesses told police he fell from the building, but it's unclear what floor he fell from or how it happened. And in a THV 11 update, Little Rock police arrest a man accused of shooting and killing his own father. Officers believe that James Daniel Sparkman killed James Danton Sparkman during a fight at a home on Vega Drive in southwest Little Rock. James Daniel Sparkman is charged with first-degree murder. He's being held without bond. And the man accused of shooting and killing a Little Rock toddler during a road rage incident will undergo a mental evaluation. Gary Holmes faces multiple charges, including 1 count of capital murder in the death of 3-year-old Asen King. Police say King was riding in the car with his grandmother when Holmes fired shots into the car. Holmes pleaded not guilty by reason of mental defect. The results of his mental evaluation will be discussed at a hearing on May 15th. Pine Bluff police are asking for your help solving a murder that happened nearly 2 years ago. Officers found Daryl Lovett Jr. shot to death inside his car on West 3rd Avenue. That was back in August of 2015. There's still no leads or possible suspects. And at the state capitol, a bill aims to clarify what military members can and cannot do when it comes to medical marijuana. Under the new medical marijuana law, designated caregivers are meant to handle and distribute the drug to qualifying patients. Those are people who are disabled or under the age of 18. The bill would disqualify military members from being designated caregivers. The Arkansas National Guard says they support the proposal because federal law already bans them from serving in that capacity.
It prohibits use and or possession. So if you're a caregiver, you would in fact be in possession of the marijuana controlled substance.
That bill now heads to a Senate committee to be reviewed. A bill to allow college and university faculty to carry a concealed weapon on campus now includes a training mandate. Lawmakers added it just yesterday. It would require an additional 16 hours of active shooter training before an employee can be armed. Next, the full Senate is expected to vote on the bill. And then here's another continuing conversation at the Capitol. The so-called bathroom bill filed this week concerning gender identity and bathroom privileges. The proposal is currently only a shell bill, which means there really aren't many specific details just yet. But the governor reiterated his opinion that this legislation is not needed in Arkansas.
We don't have a problem. There's not any problem from Washington, and I don't think that we need to be dictating those very sensitive matters that are handled in our schools. We don't need to be dictating those from the state capitol.
That bill has been referred to a committee. And President Donald Trump is putting Thursday's contentious press conference behind him and heading to what he calls the winter White House for the weekend. But first, he's going to try to focus on jobs. And Weijia Zhang is at the White House with more of those details.
The White House.
And the White House also announced that it spent several hours Thursday night working on an Obamacare replacement, and they hope to reveal that plan in March. And President Trump is pledging to prosecute leakers in Washington, but secure messaging apps may make that a difficult task. Job Broad is the creator of Confide. Once messages are read, they vanish without a trace. But Broad says they aren't saved on servers. They can't be archived, forwarded, or pasted. The messages are gone forever, and they can't be screenshotted either.
Message self-destruct, so I can't go back in and try to piece together a number of screenshots into the actual message. And it notifies both the sender and a recipient that a screenshot was attempted.
Features like that are attractive to officials who want to tip off journalists, but that don't want any information to be outed to leakers either. CBS News reports at least 3 prominent Trump White House staffers have Confide accounts. It's not known if Confide or similar apps like Signal and Telegram were used in the recent leaks. And businesses across the country back open today after shutting down to protest the president's proposed immigration policies. The business closed their doors in solidarity for the National Day Without Immigrants yesterday. More than 23% of the restaurant industry's workforce is foreign-born. That makes nearly 2.3 million workers. Chicago's Little Village neighborhood is the largest Mexican community in the Midwest. Michael Moreno says he knew he would lose money, but he closed his family's liquor store anyway.
There's nothing more powerful than for an entire community to tell people, wait a second, we're also part of this American dream.
At least 50 restaurants closed in Chicago. Another protest is planned for May 1st. And despite immigration raids across the country, Little Rock City leaders say they're not focusing on deportations. Mayor Mark Stodola sent out an email saying the city, quote, welcomes rich racial, religious, and ethnic diversity. While Little Rock is not a sanctuary city, Stodola says police officers often go to migrant communities. He and Chief Kitten Buckner want people in these neighborhoods to feel safe around police. But if people are arrested for a crime and then found to be undocumented, they will be turned over to federal authorities. Expired but still edible? It's a question that we often ask when we're checking on our food labels. So ahead, we'll explain how new food labels are expected to make things easier, saving you both food and money.
And it's feeling absolutely great outside. Sun is shining. Temperatures are warming up here. Enjoy this day while we have it. We do have a warm weekend coming up ahead, plus some little rain showers to talk about for your Saturday morning. We'll tell you more about this after the break. Stay with us.
Well, Southern California is bracing for major flooding today as a storm moves in from the Pacific. Most of the state is under storm watches and warnings ahead of what some forecasters are describing as the worst storm in years. It is expected to pour up to 6 inches of rain on LA County beaches and valleys. 5 to 10 inches are expected on foothills and mountain slopes. This could cause flash flooding and even landslides.
Now, weather from the Crane Kia Weather Garden.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Well, there could soon be something new to check out at your grocery store. The food industry is working to simplify labels on perishable food. Date stamps like Best By, Sell By, Use By, or Best Before can be very confusing for shoppers. Jamie Yukas shows us how changing the language could save you money. And the trade groups say they expect the new labels to be widely adopted by the summer of next year. Experts say it could not only save food, but it could also help you save money as well. All right, moving on here. Delta is bringing back free meals in coach. The airline says it will offer meals on its longest domestic flights, like between California and New York. Delta, like many airlines, took away free food a few years ago during a slowdown in the industry. And many companies offer paid leave for new parents, but how about for new puppies? The craft beer company BrewDog has introduced puppy parental leave, which is a paid week off to take care of a new dog. After that, workers are welcome to bring their dogs to the office. And just last week, the CDC reported flu season is peaking, and now a Texas school district is trying to keep students healthy with flu mist in classrooms. That story's next. A Northwest Arkansas school is closed today because so many of the students are out sick. That's as the flu increases in the state. Gentry Public Schools reports 13% of its students were out with flu or strep. According to the CDC, the flu vaccine has only been 48% effective this year. The CDC says flu viruses are constantly changing, so it's not unusual for new flu viruses to appear each year. Doctors say the best way to prevent the flu is to get a flu shot and wash your hands. A North Texas school district has a new technique for stopping the spread of the flu. It involves spraying rooms with a special mist. Brittany Jeffers reports it's the first in the country to use it. Definitely very interesting. Hopefully that is going to help school students all across the country. Also, we want to give an important recall for parents of young children. Britax is recalling nearly 700,000 strollers in the U.S. after reports of kids being hurt. The company says the click-and-go car seat receivers can suddenly disengage and fall. This is on its Be Agile and Bob Motion strollers. You can call Britax for a free repair kit. We'll give you a final check of your forecast, although it is looking very sunny. That's coming up after the break.